Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Welcome to my Game Week 7 team selection video. Recording this on Friday morning after the completion of all the European games, there have been no major injuries, which is a good thing since the international break is just around the corner. The wildcard didn't go as expected. Let's jump into the video. Now, as you can see, the Game Week 7 score after the wildcard was just 38 points, bringing my rank all the way up to 4.3. It's by far the worst start to the season I've ever had, but I'm pretty calm about it. Disappointed, yes, but pretty calm because there's a lot of time to go, and it is going to be a swingy season a little bit because as much as the players you have, there's always very good players you don't have. So even if your players do well, you have to worry about players that other people have doing better. So we need to get used to it. Bit of a swingy season. Just keep the faith, keep your faith in good players and yourself as an FPL manager, and things will turn around. The major contributors were, of course, I guess, Bumo and Semenyo, Havertz with that late goal. But I'm hoping the things will turn now in the coming game weeks. Let's have a look now at the upcoming fixture swings that are happening from game week 7. Which team have the best fixtures? Everton remain on top, particularly after the Newcastle fixture. They have Ipswich, Fulham, and Southampton right after. And I think they are turning a corner. They got their first win of the season last weekend against Palace. Leicester's fixtures are excellent as well. Some good home fixtures against Bournemouth, Forest, Southampton, and Ipswich. As well, so the goals in this, if not necessarily clean sheets, I can see them scoring at least 4 goals. Then it gets a bit tougher with Manchester United and Chelsea. Man City, right at the top of the fixture ticker, and a team we really need to take notice of now. This is probably the best fixture run we've seen so far. Fulham, Wolves, Southampton, Bournemouth, Brighton, Tottenham. Great guns. Similarly with Brentford, Wolves, and Ipswich and Manchester United, also all leaky defenses. Apart from that, you see the Brighton fixtures are getting a bit tougher. And of course, a lot of you guys are interested in Cole Palmer. Look at his fixtures now. They play Forest at home, Liverpool away, Newcastle at home, Manchester United away, Arsenal at home, and Leicester. Now, if you look closer at the fixtures, are a bit of a mixed bag. Now, Nuno's team are going to sit very, very deep compared to how Brighton play. They're going to sit deeper than the Mariana Trench. So Palmer might not get as much freedom to run behind the backline, but can he still get points? Yes. Liverpool away. Now, Liverpool game is a bit harder one to call since I don't know how Slot is going to set up for these big games. Traditionally, it's never an easy fixture for any team to go away to Anfield, so it gets the ceiling for Palmer for goals is a bit low there. Newcastle have been quite leaky and generally away they do concede. I fancy Chelsea to score 2 or 3 there. Manchester United are quite leaky as well, but by that time they may or may not have a new manager. We don't know. Arsenal will always be tight. And the Leicester game is obviously a good one. So there's a good bag, mixed bag of fixtures, I would say. I would say at least 3 good fixtures in there with some other mixed ones, couple of hard ones. I wouldn't put anyone off buying Palmer right now, but it does feel a little bit like points chasing. If you have Saka, I would keep the faith in him. And let's look at things on the other side of the international break when we know a bit more about Chelsea. I think saving a transfer this week could be really useful. Something else you also need to keep in mind now is Tottenham's fixture swing. They have Brighton, West Ham, Palace, Villa, Ipswich in the next 5. And in particularly for those looking at Luis Diaz, who played 70 minutes odd midweek, I think they are the first kickoff on Saturday. We might get some news on whether he's in the lineup or not. Personally, I think Diaz will start. He's a fitness monster. He's well capable of playing 3 games a week, and this is still early season, right? The fatigue hasn't really crept in yet, so I think Diaz is a good starter. But if you do get some sort of news that he is benched, I like the switch to Brennan Johnson, who has been getting a ton of shots. He's, I think, the second most shots in the box, just behind Salah. I think he's the Solanke. What's coming into the team, I think, is benefiting Johnson a lot. He's occupying defenders, which why Johnson is getting a lot of room on that side. And Kulusevski also now has been shifted more into the number 10 role. So the wing spot is Brennan's for now, especially with Odobear's injury. Now let's have a look at game week 7. In terms of matchups, you can see the Arsenal one is the most favorable for goals, Tottenham as well, Chelsea, Man City, and Liverpool. Usually, most of the big dogs who we expect to do well. Bournemouth 1.7 also caught my eye. I think that's an interesting one because I have a bit of a dilemma this week between DCL, Rogers, and Semenyo. Everton had actually projected the lowest, 1.38 out of all of those, so that's worth noticing. With Villa, I have a don't they did win midweek, but I think that would have taken a lot out of them. It's the first time they're dealing with such intense fixtures. Manchester United are also in a bad place, so it's a bit difficult now for this week if you have to make that decision. I do think Villa will win that one. Looking at clean sheets, City, Chelsea, Arsenal, of course, right up there. West Ham might get their first clean sheet of the season. This graphic will explain it better. I guess you can see top Liverpool are right on top, Tottenham a second. I'm sorry, this is the wrong image apparently. Let's skip that one. So go to the match odds now. Arsenal, Southampton, obviously. The Arsenal fixture looks like the best one for captaincy this week. I always like looking at the win percentage to show how lopsided the matchup is. Man City versus Fulham, obviously a big one there. I think a lot of us will be going Haaland captain, and I think even Foden is worth bringing in this week. I think maybe 2 weeks ahead of the crowd. It's a good fixture for returns. And of course, Palmer captaincy. I do not mind that at all. So if I was looking now, let's say the captaincy options here from the base of this graphic, Salah is never a bad pick. He has a very good record away to Palace. Arsenal, Saka is obviously a great pick. Man City, Haaland, Foden, not so much. I wouldn't trust him there. And Palmer. I think you can't really split any of them this week. I would personally go with Haaland, but if you're looking to go against him, I would probably favor Saka because I think out of all the teams you'd want to target, Southampton are the ones who come to play. They give you a chance. They might not D-block away at the Emirates. So you do expect Saka to profit there. He had very good underlying numbers last week and really deserved a return, which he didn't get. So do back Saka to come through this week with some returns. But if you have Haaland, I see no reason to look away from him. Now, this is a watch list I've updated a little bit now. Some changes according to the fixture schedule you can see there. Raya stays on top because Arsenal Merino being fit, I think, adds a lot of solidity to their defense. Pickford is a new inclusion with Everton's fixture schedule. There are those some rumors that Branthwaite might miss out this weekend. Flecken, I like similarly for Brentford's schedule, gets a lot of save points. The premium guys, Gabriel, Trent, Guardiola go right to the top. Rico Lewis was praised heavily by Pep midweek. That usually means a benching, but I still like him as a pick. And as a 4.0 budget defenders, I think Van den Berg stands out now for Brentford. He was playing at right back that game. So even when they went to a back four, we did see VDB starting, which was encouraging. Palmer, apart, and as you guys know, there's no Haaland or Salah in this. That will be the trend the whole season. So Palmer goes up now as a premium to own because I think apart from those two guys, I'm more and more leaning just because of the ceiling that Palmer has. He's probably the third best premium pick in the game. Johnson, what I spoke to you about earlier, good matchup, good fixtures, good price, form player. Foden looked very sharp also when he came on in the Champions League. If you can get to him from, like, let's say a Luis Diaz, I like that move, but I wouldn't be selling Saka for him this week yet. Boomer, not much needs to be said, although it's worth noting that Brentford managed just 0.36 XG against West Ham. So apart from the early goal, they didn't really do much. McNeil as a budget midfielder looks like a standout option nowadays. He's got adding goal threat. Obviously, the underlying numbers still aren't there, but he just looks like a player who's in form, and Sean Dyche bloody loves him. Good for bonus, takes a lot of set pieces. Great pick, and I think from the Everton attack, he's looking a better pick than Calvert-Lewin today. Watkins stays at the top primarily to this fixture, and there's also a couple of good ones with Fulham and Bournemouth coming, but I do think the minutes might start to be managed going forward. He will start this one. Could be that Durant starts alongside him. We don't know that. Calvert-Lewin, I think he's third or fourth for big chances amongst forwards, so he is getting the chances. I still like keeping the faith with the fixture schedule. Speaking of big chances, Solanke has been afforded, I think, 6 or 7 in the last couple of games. And Ange, number 9, I've been big on him since preseason. Great pick if you can get to him this week. Vardy for Leicester's fixture schedule, and Havertz, who I think is profiting as Arsenal's number 9. And we expected him to maybe drop deeper in midfield. It's not happening. But the reason Havertz is lower down the list is because Arsenal's fixture list gets a bit tougher after the next 2 games against Southampton and Bournemouth. Now, this is how my team looks. I'll read it out for the audio, guys. I've got Flecken in goal. Trent, it says Munoz there. That should be Gabriel. My apologies. And there's Lewis as well. Sorry, this was put together a bit hastily as I have to head out. So it's Saka, Bumo, Semenyo, Luis Diaz, Haaland, Havertz, and DCL. The images are correct if the names below are wrong, so apologies for that. The big decision this week really is a benching dilemma I've created for myself. Who do I play between Semenyo, Rogers, and DCL? I got that wrong last week by playing Calvert-Lewin, but I still think I'm most likely going to go that route, as ultimately he is the goal scorer and the focal point of that attack. The Semenyo one is a bit more interesting because I don't think Leicester are as bad as we make them out to be. They're a decent defense, and Bournemouth away, I don't trust them as much. The main thing is how leaky Manchester United have been. I think Rodgers could have a field day against that outfit, so I'm a bit concerned about that. I'll see which way I go. As of now, I think I am leaning towards sticking towards this lineup: Haaland captain and Saka vice. So it's a short video this week. Again, a reminder, take care of your mental health. I understand the FPL season has been tough so far. Do what you need to do to unwind from it. We do have an international break around the corner. Wish you good luck and green arrows. Thank you. Of course, like and subscribe as well.